Before I start, the senior class, 2014, the graduating class, buried a time capsule with Miss Conway. They're supposed to be digging it up this year, but nobody knows where it's at. So if anyone remembers, please let us know. We would really like to dig it up. You know, it's one of those things, right? You know. My gift, my blessing. I'm going to tell you about one of the most precious gifts that I've ever been given. Proverbs 18:24 says, "A true friend sticks by you like family." I was given the gift of a true friend. Annie and I never referred to each other as best friends. We never labeled our relationship because there was no definition. We became whatever the other one needed at that time. There were times when she was my mother, times when she was my sister, times when she was my friend, but she was always my gift. We had this unspoken connection that we went beyond the world's definition of relationships. Our love for one another was deep, unconditional, no strings attached. We were politically bipolar, but that was never an issue in our relationship. I would like to say we balanced each other, but really, she balanced me. She kept me grounded. God gave me the most precious gift when I needed her most. I got to hold on to her for 15 years, but it wasn't long enough. We met 15 years ago here at Clarkdale Jerome School. This place will always have a special place in my heart. We met during our first production, It's a Jungle Out There, and that pretty much describes our journey. After we finished It's a Jungle Out There, I went on the 8th grade class trip to Catalina Island, which is where the 8th graders are on a class trip right now, but they're doing the river now. I got really sick and was transported out by Baywatch. I know what you're thinking, but they look nothing like they do on TV. When I came back home, I really did not feel like I could continue teaching. When I went to pick up my car, it was a Sunday. There was a note on my car. It said, I'm in my classroom, come see me, Anne. I did not know that the news had already hit the school. Up to that point, we really have not talked much. So I went to see what she wanted. She was just doing busy stuff in her classroom, waiting for me to get back. At this point, there were no cell phones. So I told her a little about my health history, and I told her I did not think I could continue to teach. She said, "No, Cherie, you are an incredible teacher. We need you. You bring life to this school. I believe in you. Hang in there with me, and I will always have your back." I believed her, and she kept her word. She gifted me with 10 awesome years here at Clarkdale Jerome. And no matter what messes I was able to get us into, she always had my back. She soon adopted my philosophy. Don't ask permission, but be ready to ask for forgiveness. With that in our tool belt, we took Clarkdale Jerome School by storm. At one time, we had a band of 80 members in this small school. And Annie had my back. She didn't know the first thing about teaching band instruments, but if I called and said, Annie, I couldn't make it, she was here, twirling at the time. She was directing my band. We put on a lot of productions here, and some of you had the opportunity to enjoy them. I love to do drama with her. I directed, and she made the sets. I would say, Annie, I need a house to fall out of the sky. The next thing I know, she was on a ladder, hanging a house from the ceiling with pulleys and cables. I would say, Annie, I need a witch to melt. She would figure out how to melt a kid through the stage. I would say, Annie, we need to start the scarecrow on fire. This one was a little scary. We did catch Linda Chavez's hair on fire. But through all our antics, we never hurt a kid. We did have some scary moments, but they all made it out alive. She transformed this stage into Rondale High School from Greece, the Wonka Chocolate Factory. She sucked the kid up through a pipe. Emerald City of Oz, and the incredible Under-the-Sea World of Nemo with black lights and all, which is the stage that's up there now. Together, anything we touched was magic. We had incredible synergy. There were many times during our productions that we'd be working on sets till 1, 2 in the morning. She would just spend the night at my house in Cottonwood. We were very much at home in each other's homes. So one morning, she just walks in my bedroom, and there's my husband, stark mood. She shuts the door quickly and says, "I didn't see anything," as she's dying laughing on the other side of the door. Not good for the male ego. But my husband became the topic of conversation in the teacher's lounge for several days. We referred to this as Annie's sneak-a-peek. After they were unable to complete her hysterectomy, they were preparing to fly her out to St. Joe's. Annie is a little drugged, and my husband and I walk into her room. She says, "Is that Cuba?" referring to my husband. And John's like, "Hello, I'm standing right here." This became a running joke. Annie lived like she drove. Some of you guys must have ridden with her. A bowl of cereal in one hand, talking on the phone in the other, shifting gears, and always driving 10 miles over the speed limit, while driving my kids to school. She was not afraid to get a ticket because she had taught all the cops. They knew her, they loved her, they may have stopped her to say hi, but she always got away with it. She was full of energy. She never stopped. It was like somehow she knew her time here was going to be short, so she needed to get everything done. I gave Annie her first massage. Then she became a massage therapist. I got a lot of massages. That first massage really paid off. When I met Annie, she was a closet smoker. Some of you guys may not know that. We learned that if I was having an aura, that a seizure was coming on, and Annie could give me her heart and it would calm me down. But if she smoked, her heart rate was too fast and it did not work. I gave Annie a cigarette in a glass tube, which said, "Break in case of emergencies." She never smoked again. The glass tube was just a symbol, but it never got broken. She stopped smoking so she could help me. I needed her heart, and she wanted to make sure it worked. Annie gave every one of you her heart. She lived from her heart. She loved more purely and unconditionally than anyone I have ever met. She loved every student that came through her classroom, no matter what a terror they were. She had a lot of best friends, and several of you are here. And she loved them all the way they needed to be loved. She never judged anyone. She would get angry and frustrated, but she never judged. She just loved everyone where they were at. John 15:13 says, "This is the very best way to love. Put your life on the line for your friends." That was my Annie. If you knew Annie at all, you experienced her love, and you got a piece of my gift. You were given the gift of a glimpse of heaven by being in Annie's presence. She was always willing to do whatever was needed to help someone that was hurting. So as I thought about this, I decided we needed to get rid of all these anti-bullying programs and instigate a new program. The Annie Conway Love Will Find a Way program. Let's not teach tolerance, but let's teach unconditional love. No matter what the situation, lead in love. We accept everyone because of our differences. We look for the awesomeness in everyone. Annie loved, she lived, she laughed, and she celebrated every day she was with us. James 4:14 says, "You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes." We are just a blip in time. Annie was a very bright blip. I was also given the gift of her teaching. She taught all three of my children. For all of you that had her, or your children have had her, you know what a blessing that was. And of course, she was my kids' favorite. She treated my kids as if they were her own. She had been a part of every one of their milestones. My youngest, Allie, has never known a world without Annie. She wrote this on her Facebook page the day that Annie died. This morning, having gained one spectacular angel, you weren't just my fourth grade teacher, you were my aunt, and I loved you as one. Now rest in paradise. When Annie was sick, we spent a lot of time at her house. We were watching this terrible show, The Walking Dead. I don't recommend it, but I got sucked in. Annie decided to try and watch it with us. She watched about 1 minute, and a zombie got its head whacked. Annie screamed, said some colorful metaphors, and made us turn off the TV. Allie loves this memory. I have a lot of stories of Annie, and I can go on forever. And I love talking about my Annie. Johnny and I started this journey 2.5 years ago when Annie took a helicopter ride from Green Valley Medical Center to St. Joe's down in Phoenix. We were together at 2 a.m. when we were given the horrible news that Annie had cancer. And together we fought like crazy to save her, to keep her a little longer. What a pair we were. John with the schedules and lists and bills, and me with my juice and healthy food. Both of us fighting hard for the same outcome. We wanted to keep her longer. We brought her back. She was doing great. And a year and a half ago, the cancer came back. She was not supposed to make it out of the hospital. The doctors were fighting in the halls. John and I got glimpses of it. Johnny and I would not give up. We only spoke life to her. She was so sick. She came back again, strong and ready to go full speed. I truly believe that she came back because Johnny and I were not ready to let go. When she was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago, we talked a lot about heaven, about God, about Jesus, what that all must look like. I read her a book called The Shack, and I do recommend that one. She loved it. She made me stay one night until 12 midnight so I could finish reading it to her. We talked a lot about that book. She knew time was short. I didn't think it was going to be that short. So we made plans. Annie and I could talk about anything, and we did. We talked about anything and everything. And as soon as we got her stronger, we were going to take a trip to the Grand Canyon. And she was going to make a video for John and the kids. But we ran out of time. So I hope I can do this justice. Ben, you are the rock. She loved you so much. She was so proud of you and everything you have accomplished. She still expects more from you, and she would really like for you to cook your own food. Ben, you need to be strong for the rest of us. But you need to understand, the rest of us all grieve differently. But man, she loved you. We had a lot of talks about you. Jesse, you are your mother's heartbeat. You have taken on so many of her characteristics, especially your ability to love unconditionally. You are her baby girl. You were a shining beacon. One of the greatest highlights of her life was your wedding day. She was so glad, she was so glad she was here to enjoy it. She loved you with all her heart. She was very proud of you. And she knows someday you're going to make a great mommy. John, together we've been through a lot. There's nothing I can tell you that you don't already know. You were her soulmate. She loved you more than life itself. She loved every moment she spent with you. And your love for her is what kept her here for 1.5 more years. John texted me yesterday morning. Since I can't text Annie anymore, I'm texting John. John texted me yesterday morning and asked me how I was doing. I said, I'm going to be okay. John said, I'm going to be okay as well. I'm just wondering how long will it take before it stops feeling like someone has ripped my heart out. I said, nobody has ripped your heart out. She just took such a big part with her. But she also left her heart with us. She also left her heart with all of you. Carry with honor and love everyone God brings into your path. For the past 2.5 years, Annie felt your love. She so enjoyed the messages on Annie's Angels, she would read them over and over again. I Walked a Mile for Miss Conway was the greatest gift you all could have given her. We spent a lot of time talking about how incredible that was. I thank you for giving her that, and a special thank you to Chelsea Clark. All of your texts, phone calls, cards, and visiting were so important to her. I thank you. Claire Smith, I know I saw you, so I'm just going to keep going. Thank you so much for taking her class. That took a lot of stress off of her when she knew you were in her room. She never wanted to shortchange the kids, and with you in her room, she knew they were getting the best. She loved you. Thank you. And to the tall teachers of the G-Pod, and you know who you are, there are no words to express my gratitude to all of you. She loved you. We talked about you often, and we always wanted to be part of, I always wanted to be part of the G-Pod, and you all tried to find a way to get me there. The last time I saw Annie, she texted me, "Where are you?" I texted back, "I'm on your front porch." I had a pretty tough week, because I knew what we were dealing with. I knew that Annie had a coconut cream pie in her fridge. So I went straight into her house, into her fridge, cut a piece of pie for me and my husband, and went and sat on the couch with her. Those of you that know me know that it's completely out of character and against everything I stand for. But for some reason that night, it did not matter. Annie didn't say anything. She just stared at me for a few minutes. I didn't say anything either. I didn't want anybody to take my pie. After a few minutes, she turned to Jerry and said, "Okay, Jerry, hand me back my pie." She was eating pie when I was on her front porch, and she hid it under the couch when she knew I was there. All these years of juice and salad, but the last thing that we share together is coconut cream pie. For the past 2.5 years, we communicated every day. We saw each other 2 or 3 times a week. During the rough times, we saw each other every day. I held her hand. We cried together. I rubbed her head. I rubbed her feet. I gave her my heart. I loved her. On Tuesday, the day after she passed, I got a call from the high school. My son had just won an award. I was so excited. Without thinking, I grabbed my phone and started to text Annie. For the first time, she was not going to answer. I believe Annie is hanging out with Jesus, eating coconut cream pie. she is holding and loving on little Cameron. I believe she was telling Jesus, keep an eye on Cherie. I promised her I would have her back. I challenge you not to go out and find the gift that I had, but be the gift. Be the blessing. I bless you all with the gift of a friend that was as special as mine. I love you, Annie. I will miss you every day, but I will see you again. Now we have the slideshow, and at the very beginning is a message from Annie.